So, will Donald Trump follow in the 647-year-old footsteps of Bartolomeo Prignano? No, he won't.
Jon Stewart just dropped the hammer on MSNBC, and this wasn't just criticism, it was comedic demolition. With his signature wit and razor-sharp timing, he exposed the network's hypocrisy like a surgeon with a scalpel. Stewart mocked their selective outrage, performative journalism, and obsession with narratives over facts. It wasn't just funny, it was brutal truth wrapped in satire. The crowd loved it, but the silence from MSNBC said more than any rebuttal could. You could almost hear the execs sweating in their suits. Stewart didn't hold back, and the audience ate it up. This was a masterclass in accountability, served with a smirk and a mic drop. Stay tuned.
See what you're doing to people, Trump? MSNBC's got to waste valuable airtime fact-checking your f***ing nonsense. Time they could have spent frowning, sighing, and rolling their eyes.
The Daily Show host took a blowtorch to MSNBC's non-stop spin, petty jabs, and delicious hypocrisy. And yes, it was absolute fire. Lucky for you, we've got all the juicy receipts. Buckle up. This takedown's got more twists than an MSNBC panel discussion.
Generated image of himself depicted as the Pope on social media yesterday.
MSNBC is practically foaming at the mouth trying to catch Trump in some grand evil plot. Their desperation is so extra, it's starting to feel like satire. They'd probably accuse him of world domination if he sneezed too confidently. Case in point, right before Pope Leo XIV was elected, Trump posted a clearly AI-generated image of himself as the new pope. Harmless, tongue-in-cheek joke, right? Cue MSNBC's meltdown. They treated it like Watergate 2.0, claiming it was a dangerous attack on democracy, the Vatican, and maybe even the climate. The pearl-clutching was intense, like he tried to canonize himself. Spoiler, he didn't. But facts never
Trump and the Pope do share the same taste in interior design, so it's not the worst fit. And it's just a troll, it's not hurting anybody. I mean, Trump wasn't going to heaven anyway, so it's not like it's gonna... I'm not gonna get distracted by it. But he can't really be the Pope, can he?
Of course, Trump can't be Pope. He's not Catholic, not a priest, and definitely not brushing up on Latin anytime soon. But leave it to MSNBC to twist a harmless meme into a full-blown Vatican conspiracy. According to their latest hysteria, Trump's AI-generated image as the Pope isn't just a joke. It's some Machiavellian scheme to seize religious power and brainwash the masses. Yes, really. It's the kind of breathless narrative that makes you wonder if they've swapped journalism for fan fiction. This non-stop crusade to paint Trump as a cartoon villain isn't just tired, it's toxic. It's all about outrage, division, and hoping something sticks. But Jon Stewart, he's not having it. With surgical precision and brutal wit, he's dismantling the nonsense. And when Stewart...
The time a non-cardinal was Pope was back in 1378, when the Italian Archbishop Bartolomeo Prignano, who had been a monk, was controversially chosen from outside of the College of Cardinals, and he became Pope Urban VI. So, will Donald Trump follow in the 647-year-old footsteps of Bartolomeo Prignano? No, he won't.
What's the point of dragging all this out? Even Trump wasn't serious. He posted a meme, not a papal decree. So why on earth did MSNBC burn airtime treating it like a global scandal? Here's the kicker. The hosts knew it was a joke. They knew Trump wasn't angling for the papacy. And still, they cranked out an overproduced editorial segment like it was evidence in a federal trial. Why? Because outrage sells. Because dunking on an AI meme is easier than covering real issues. It's performative journalism at its worst. Cheap. Clicks, fake concern, and a desperate grasp for relevance in a post-Trump media slump. Truth is, they secretly miss him. But Jon Stewart? He didn't miss a beat. He verbally eviscerated the network and exposed their hypocrisy for everyone to see. Interview MSNBC's Trump derangement syndrome is so far gone, it might as well be terminal. Their obsession has blinded them to the sheer absurdity of their own coverage. Every move Trump makes, whether serious, sarcastic, or straight-up AI-generated, is instantly spun into proof of his villainy. But here's the real tragedy. Their burning desire to see Trump fail now outweighs any real interest in seeing America succeed. Patriotism? That's in the trunk. Ratings and resentment are the ones steering the wheel. They'd rather fan the flames of division, hype up hysteria, and invent outrage than admit something Trump did might actually benefit the country.
What you're doing to people, Trump? MSNBC's got to waste valuable airtime fact-checking your fucking nonsense. Time they could have spent frowning, sighing, and rolling their eyes.
Take MSNBC or Joe Scarborough seriously at your own risk. These people could make the devil look like a choir boy and turn a saint into a war criminal, all within one overproduced segment. They've elevated narrative twisting to an Olympic-level sport. Masters of spin, wizards of deception, pros at dressing up half-truths as breaking news. That's exactly why Jon Stewart keeps dragging them back into the spotlight. He knows their game. He sees through the smug monologues, the selective outrage, and the carefully edited omissions. And unlike most of the media, he's not afraid to call them out. Brutally, brilliantly, and with razor-sharp wit. Because let's face it, this isn't about informing the public. It's about controlling perception. And Stewart? He's not playing along. He's ripping back the curtain, exposing the act, and reminding everyone that just because it's on TV doesn't mean it's true.
Progressive than a lot of people. I also understand that she's one of the most articulate, exciting people in the Democratic field. She goes out with Bernie Sanders, and yeah, she just draws so many people. It's very good, very effective in hearings. They need somebody young like AOC, and again, it's not about ideology. She can carry the message forward for a Democratic Party that really needs to reach out to younger Americans.
Yes, let's have a look at just how articulate and impressive AOC is, prepared to be dazzled by her rare genius.
Even as a waitress, if any of you all else have gone like completely mad,
like whatever, you know, and like or whatever, like just like it's like this what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing in some of these areas and places where Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
Do you think you can expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd also I am not the expert at geopolitics on this issue, you know?
Oh dear, that's AOC over the years. She really is the future.
Days whenever Joe Scarborough tells us to trust him or claims he's just speaking the truth, I instinctively brace for a whopper. The man lies so smoothly, he could sell sand in a desert. Remember when he confidently assured the entire country that Joe Biden was fit as a fiddle and at the top of his game? Fast forward a week, and Biden announces he's stepping aside with the Democratic Party scrambling to rally behind. So much for peak performance. Scarborough didn't just get it wrong. He gaslit the nation. And let's be real, he didn't miss the signs. He ignored them. For Joe and his MSNBC echo chamber, protecting the narrative always comes before telling the truth. Integrity? Optional? Spin? Mandatory? The scary part? They know exactly what
saying spectacularly stupid things. It's a requirement of all MSNBC anchors to say silly things or just lie to their audience. Remember when he said this not long before Joe Biden was forced to announce the end of his re-election campaign?
I've said it for years now. He's cogent. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Intellectually, analytically, because he's been around for 50 years. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
Best Biden ever, and F you if you can't handle the truth. Dear, dear.
After all the lies MSNBC has spread about Trump over the years, when exactly are they going to apologize? They've been caught misrepresenting the economy, distorting political narratives, and peddling half-truths on major social issues. Yet somehow, the retractions are few and far between. And when they do apologize, it's buried in a late-night tweet or a vague statement that no one sees. They've made unverifiable claims, pushed anonymous sources with zero accountability, and wrapped speculation in the guise of breaking news. And the kicker? They've gotten away with it over and over again. No consequences, no introspection, no shame. Meanwhile, they continue to position themselves as the moral
I was telling the dim-witted MSNBC audience not long after that Kamala had it in the bag. She was going to beat Trump.
When you start seeing numbers, real numbers, like what's going on in Georgia, suddenly you feel like telling Democrats that are bitching and moaning about what the Harris campaign's doing, hey, calm down. You know what? Victory is in sight in less than 3 weeks if you go out, work hard, and do your job. The opponent is imploding, and Harris is doing better than ever.
Victory is in sight. Sadly, it wasn't. It was a landslide loss that was in.
Jon Stewart wrapped up the show with a hammer drop of pure brutality. He called out the hypocrisy in plain sight. If you claim to hate Trump so much, if you spend every waking moment calling him a threat to democracy, a danger to the nation, and even comparing him to Hitler, then you can't just turn around and accept an invitation to lunch with the guy. You can't label someone a fascist one day and pose for selfies the next. Stewart wasn't just pointing fingers. He was exposing the rot at the core of performative outrage. Either Trump is the existential threat you say he is, or you just love the media attention that comes from pretending he is. And Stewart's done pretending. In the end, Stewart exposed what we've all been thinking. MSNBC's outrage is as fake as their headlines. They lie, spin, and backpedal without shame, expecting.
What do you make of that he's just been a little less visible than I think a lot of people, Trump observers, expected he would be?
Yeah, well, reportedly he's been visible at nightclubs, far more than he has been on the 7th floor of the Hoover building.
Oh, really? It wasn't long before we got this correction.
And now let's circle back to a segment from Friday's show. Frank Figliuzzi was on that morning during this hour discussing the work of administration officials. At the end of that segment, Figliuzzi said that FBI Director Kash Patel has reportedly been more visible at nightclubs than at his office at FBI headquarters. This was a misstatement. We have not verified.
What about all the lies MSNBC has spread about Trump over the years? When exactly are they planning to apologize for those? They've been caught misrepresenting the economy, twisting political narratives, and peddling half-truths on major social issues. Yet somehow, actual retractions are few and far between. And when they do issue a correction, it's buried in a late-night tweet or tossed into a vague, blink-and-you-miss-it statement. They've pushed unverifiable claims, leaned on anonymous sources with zero accountability, and wrapped wild speculation in the shiny packaging of breaking news. And the worst part? They keep getting away with it. No consequences, no introspection, no shame. Meanwhile, they still parade around like they're the moral compass of journalism.
During such fraught times,
at this point, it's not just dishonest. It's downright insulting. Interview, John. Stewart closed the show by dropping the hammer, and it was brutal. He called out the hypocrisy in plain sight. If you claim to hate Trump so much, if you've spent years calling him a threat to democracy, a danger to the nation, even comparing him to Hitler, then you don't turn around and grab lunch with the guy. You can't have it both ways. You don't get to label someone a fascist one day and pose for selfies the next. Stewart wasn't just pointing fingers. He was exposing the rot at the heart of performative outrage. Either Trump is the existential threat they say he is, or they're just addicted to the media spotlight that comes from pretending he is. And John? He's done pretending. In the end, Stewart said what so many of us have been thinking. MSNBC's outrage is as fake as their headlines. They lie, they spin, they backpedal, then expect a standing ovation. But the mask is slipping. And thanks to Stewart, the double standards aren't just visible, they're on full display. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, smash that like button and subscribe for more truth, wit, and real talk right here.